right, and we're live, and we are live. Live. Let's switch to scene 2. That's better. That's better. All right, so today, what are we gonna do? We are gonna do a what's the title of this video? Already forgot. Reviewing progress. All right. Yeah. So today, I actually just want to review progress. I have my mic right here. I want to review some progress on how everything's been going since I've started this YouTube channel. It's actually been going better than I thought. I've been getting better results than I thought. And I think I'm up $300 so far, $300 flat since my first YouTube video, which was my first green live stream, which was I think my most viewed video on this channel. Even though I do keep my total account size private, the information on the money that I've made is clear. It's very transparent for everybody to see. As you've all seen, even today, I had an $18 red day. I still posted that video, right? The whole plan of this channel is to be as transparent as possible, grow an audience from other traders alike who also trade on Thinkorswim, on TD Ameritrader, any broker really, and want to connect and have somebody to look up to as they're trading, right? Some people I used to look up to were Angel Aziz, which is the author of, if I have this book around here somewhere. Let's see, I have Angel Aziz is the author of of how to day trade for a living, right? And this is his second book, Advanced Techniques in Day Trading, which I've read. I've read both of his books. And he's a guy that I looked up to. I watched on a live stream. I joined his Bear Bulls trader team, which his company is called Bear Bull Traders, and they're really cool. And it was really cool to follow them. Another one is also Ross Cameron, which is probably the most popular on YouTube, owner of Warrior Trading, right? I remember I would listen to him on live as I would trade, and I would copy his trades, even though he says not to do it. It's not financial advice. That's how I learned, right? However, these two creators are way too deep into trading that the average person, the average beginner who wants to learn can't really connect to them, can't really understand them off the jump, right? They have so many screens, so many monitors, and that's why I think my setup is actually very efficient, right? Because you can actually see everything that I need is from this one screen, right? From this one screen. And I'm going to go over just a little bit of the basics. This whole video is just going to basically be a little review of everything, right? Review of how much money I've made, how good I've been doing, my YouTube videos, the purpose of this channel, everything, right? So we're going to just start off with a little review of what you guys are going to see on this channel. And I currently have I don't have my live chat on, so give me a second to put that on my phone so I could see if people are gonna be messaging me. All right. So first things first, it's actually very simple, right? This is a 5-minute chart. Every single candlestick on this graph represents 5 minutes. So if this red candlestick right here started off here, dropped down here, this represents 5 minutes of movement, and it tells a story, right? Green candlesticks push the stock up, red candlesticks push the stock down. Now, if I draw a line right here, right, and I draw a line right here on the 5-minute, look what happens on the 1-minute chart, right? What does that mean? That means that, let's try it even, that this 14:45, okay, what minute is this? 14:45, right? And then we start off here at 14, okay. So right here is when our second minute starts, right? So if you see here, I'm trying to show you guys in a better angle. So from right here, right? Let me draw this better. From right here to this right here, this whole area is this red candlestick. As you see, as I go down, this is the entire area. This is obviously a horrible chart to look at, but this is just to show you guys an example, right? That every candlestick on the 5-minute represents 5 of these summed up into one, right? Now, if we look at a better, let's look at a better stock was a stock that we were trading the other day, 3.35, right? This looks much better. This is the 1-minute chart, right? This stock, I believe, I made $78 on this trade, but since I was at a $45 loss at the minute, it went from a $45 loss to break even to $45 profit. It was like a $9 win. But the good thing is that the risk to reward ratio on my trades is so good that the $45 loss was accumulated of 3 separate losses. And therefore, this one win was able to take me from a $45 loss to break even to a $45 win. Now, I think since I'm going to be showing you guys on my screen, I forgot that I had seen 2 on. So that's counterintuitive because the whole point was to show you guys a chart yet. Yet you couldn't really see well. Okay, so this is the 1-minute chart. This is the 5-minute chart, right? 1-minute chart, 5-minute chart, right? All right. Here on the left-hand side, I have the daily chart, which is how I set my profit targets, my key levels. So let's say the stock is trading around 1.9. I would look at my profit target to evaluate where I would draw my profit target. In other words, what is the level that most likely the stock is going to sell off? What is the highest level that we could possibly reach? Not only the highest level, but what is a level that we will most certainly reach? That's a better definition of a profit target. Because the stock doesn't always reverse on the resistance level, and it doesn't always break through. What is the clearest and closest level that has the strongest amount of resistance or support? And what I mean by that is, for example, let's number 3, right? The number 3. The number 3 itself can hold resistance for a stock that's below it and hold support for a stock that's above it, right? Because 3, psychologically, it's just whole numbers tend to have strong levels of resistance and support. Because if you have 1,000 shares of a stock, you're saying, and it's rising, you won't say, let's sell at 2.96. You'll say, let's sell at 3. I sell at 3, or right before 3. That's like, mentally, those are marks, right? So that's how I set my profit target. 5 minutes, I look at the pattern to see if it's a strong pattern. And 1 minute is where I time in my entries. So here I timed in my entries at the break of around 1.8, around the break around here. I timed in my entries and boom, I added at 1.9. On the 5 minute, you can't time your entries well, but you can see the overall pattern, right? You can see the pattern much more clearly. See that we had a strong move up, a little bit of a consolidation here, a move up, and then now we have a strong red candlestick that starts pushing it down. So that's available on the 5 minute. And because on the 1 minute, it gets too choppy, it gets too crazy. So that's why you want the 5 minute with you in order to look at the bigger picture so you just don't get scared all of a sudden just because of a red candlestick that appeared out of nowhere, right? Now, what is my next thing? Okay, here is the active trader tab, right? The active trader tab is basically how I send my orders. I have something called hotkeys, which are essentially, instead of buying the stock here, or where markets closed, right? So I can do this. Okay, just to make sure. Markets closed, I have hotkeys. So this is how I buy market, right? And that's not a good interpretation. Let's switch to a stock that was in play today. What was the name of a stock that was in play today? NCPL. Okay, that was the one where I took the loss. NCPL, right? NCPL. Right? So the markets are closed, and we see this little gray area. It means we're after market hours, right? If I buy market right here, it's going to buy here. The order's not going to go through because we're in after hours, right? The market's closed. I have to change the settings in order to be able to buy it, or in order to try to buy it at this time, right? It's not going to go through, right? Because it's on daytime. It's in daytime. All right. And however, instead of having to press the buy button, I press my hotkey. As you see, I didn't move my mouse. And now if I want to cancel that, I press my cancel button. If I want to sell, I press my sell button. Cancel. Buy if I want to. Yeah. So those are hotkeys, right? And the reason I want this is in case I want to move my share size up and down. I want to choose my day to, I don't know, if I want to change up the settings. I usually don't use this. I don't use this. Only reason I use this is to look at my P&L. Not even my P&L. I usually cover my P&L with a little sticky paper, so I don't see how much money I'm up or I'm down. I stick to the plan, right? So I have a little sticky note, which are, what are these for? And then I'm usually just really just looking at my average price. Average price, that's what I was looking for. I usually just look at my average price. So I could probably even just go like this, but then I don't know if I'd be able to see my average price. But if I'm able to see my average price, I might just switch it. It looks more simpler than all this craziness. Let's see if I could customize. Yeah, no needing customizing. Yeah, it's worse. All right. Down here, I have news. I just hover over, and I have the news for the stock. I could sort it by dates. Today it's sorted by time since the news came out today. Up here, I have the level 2. Now, the level 2 time and sales is... The level 2 is where things start to get tricky. Think of it that this is the bid side, right? The bid side is the price the buyers are willing to buy at. The ask is the price the sellers are willing to sell at. When you make a deal to buy something, the seller's going to always want a higher price than what you are willing to buy it for. And what is in between is known as the bid-ask spread. That's the bid-ask spread, right? And the orders could either come at the ask side, a buyer sell order at the ask side, a buyer sell order at the bid side, or a buyer sell order at the spread. And that all depends on whether you have somebody willing to buy at that price, somebody willing to sell at that price. The reason level 2 comes into play is because if all of a sudden, let's say the stock's moving up, right? And then I see a bunch of buyers on the bid, right? Buyers on the bid, you would think is a good thing, but actually it's bad. Why? Because if you notice here, here's NCPO. Right now it's at 1.994, right? That's the top of the bid. And the top of the ask is 1.97, right? That's like the most fastest orders to get filled, right? Since we're right close to the price. But the lower you go on the bid side, 1.94, 1.91, 1.80, these are all orders waiting to get filled at these prices, meaning that somebody... Oh, and each numbers represents 100, right? So let's get 1.78, for example. 1.78 would be right here. Yet that order isn't going to get filled, is it now? That order isn't going to get filled because it's so far away, right? It's so far away from the actual price. The price right now is here. That order was filled here. So he is essentially put his order out there. He's expecting the price to come down to him. That's why having a heavy a lot of buyers on the bid side is bad. Having a stacked bid compared to the ask is bad. Bad in terms of if you're going bullish, right? We're waiting for the price to come up, but if there's a lot of big numbers here on the bid side, they're waiting for the price to come to them, right? If not, they would have gotten filled easily on the ask or right up here, right? They would have gotten filled very quickly. So let's take this into example. What does this mean? 1.98, right? We're at 1.94, 1.98. The price right now is at 1.94, and there is a buyer at 1.98. What does that mean? Even though he's buying higher, he's telling the price, yo, my order's right here, the price is right here. He's expecting the price to come up for his position to get filled. He's waiting for the price to come to him. And a stacked ask and a stacked ask is good, right? So the way you want to see level 2 really is you want to see imbalances, right? If there's numbers all over the place and there's big numbers on both sides, then it really does no help. But if you clearly can see a side, whether it's at the top, either side, whether it's top, bottom, or anywhere that has a huge amount of numbers, then compared to the other side, then that's an imbalance. And you got to pay attention to that, right? So that's level two. Next up is a time and sales. The time and sales is essentially exactly what it sounds, time and sales. I don't have the time here because I'm so tight on space for my screen. I have the price and I have the order size, right? In hundreds, right? So 26, 2,600 shares, right? Just add two zeros. So a bunch of red means a bunch of selling, and a bunch of green means a bunch of buying. So essentially, what you're saying is you want to look at time and sales and see whether you get a flash of huge red, usually leading into a down halt, or a flash of huge green, which leads into a green halt. A green halts are beneficial for us, down halts are not. That's another topic for another video. This is just an overview. But you're ideally seeing for numbers that are way too big that you haven't seen before. Numbers that have enough power to actually move the stock price in seconds and then follow the trend. Over here we have our momentum scanners now. Our momentum scanners, this scanner right here is voice activated and sends me, I don't know why this is not moving, and sends me sound alerts. This one does not. So it'll say W and W, right? And I'm like, oh shit, W and W, right? Boom, here. And if I hear it spamming W and W, 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 then I'll be like, okay, this is dog is clearly getting a lot of movement. Let me go check it out. Right. Let me write something down, which I just occurred to me for another video. W and W. Okay. So yes, that momentum is basically a stock having a lot of movement very rapidly. That is a definition for momentum. That is what momentum means. And then here is another stocks that make the high, a new high of day, right? That's what this one means. That's a little overview of that. That's a little review of my setup. That's the first thing I wanted to talk about today. The second thing is my YouTube itself, right? The YouTube Tavera Trading is going to serve as a brand, right? I'm going to do day trading for my own benefits, for my own financial gain, work on it myself, but Tavera Trading is more my way of accessing an online presence, right? Getting connections from other traders around the world, from other financial institutions, right? Making an online presence is important because it's very crucial that I learn from other people, right? Other people that are smarter than me, that have been doing this for longer. That's very important. And in order to gain connections in this world, I have to put myself out there. And this is gonna serve as that. This is a way to put myself out there, put out what I've been doing for the past 3 years, put out my knowledge and get knowledge back, get connections back. As of right now, my lives will be free. As of now, everybody could just copy my trades and make money off of them in real time for free. You can do that. It's not financial advice, by the way. Not financial advice, but you can do that. Nobody's stopping you. I'm not stopping you. It's just not financial advice. I mean, you shouldn't do it if you don't know what you're doing, but nobody's stopping you. It's just not financial advice, right? So yeah, this YouTube is gonna have a lot of benefits to why I'm creating this, and well, my mom's clearly arguing outside, so let's let's lower the mic volume right here. That way, you guys can hear me more clearly. I'll put my mic up here. That's better. Okay. So yeah, YouTube's gonna serve a lot of benefits, and the a big. I've always wanted to connect around other people who have the same drive that I have of trading, that have the same consistency and drive that I have essentially. Yet I've never met anybody that's as consistent, as working, as much drive as I have in day trading, right? And I like to build a community. I like to build a community of traders that share that same passion and that same drive to become financially free, to learn, to gain wealth, not just in terms of money, but in terms of freedom, right? a huge benefit of day trading is that I get to trade from anywhere across the world. I don't have a boss. My money itself makes money. I could do it for 2 hours, 3 hours, 1 hour, sometimes a day. Sometimes a day it's just 1 hour. Make money and then go on with my day. And naturally, when you day trade, it takes such a different level of emotional thinking that you have to be able to make decisions lightning quick with thousands of dollars. And that within itself trains your mind how valuable money is, how quick you can lose it, and how even not even quicker, but how even quick. 1 second. So where did I leave off? I was talking about. I forgot what I was even talking about. Anyways, I got my brother here. He's gonna say hi. I'll edit that part out. um, yeah, I mean, I think that was pretty much it. I might actually just wrap up my video now. I was just going over my software here, the purposes for this YouTube account. So everybody, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next video.